one of the first signs of Christmas on my street is light. From the 1st of December, the street is transformed into a dazzling display of Christmas cheer as people hang out their lights and put up their Christmas displays for the rest of the street to enjoy. Christmas is a season of celebration, isn't it? And yet that same spirit of celebration can be crushing when times are hard. It's been an incredibly difficult year for all of us with COVID-19, and maybe for you that's intensified your questions about God and faith. How could God allow this kind of suffering? How could God allow me to go through such debilitating depression or such crippling anxiety? I want to say that understanding the realism of Christmas can really help us when times are hard. I saw a piece in the New York Times recently, and it said this about Christmas: "The tyranny of relentless and mandatory celebration leaves us exhausted and often, ironically, feeling emptier. Many of us suffer from holiday blues, and I wonder whether this phenomenon is made worse by the incessant demand for cheer. The collective lie that through enough work and positivity we can perfect our lives and our world." So how can rediscovering the realism of Christmas help us? In Isaiah chapter 9 verse 2 it says this: "The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned." How can this text help us? Well, firstly, notice this classic Christmas text is realistic. It acknowledges the reality of darkness. Maybe you're facing darkness at the moment, the darkness of loneliness, or the darkness of financial insecurity, or bereavement, or physical pain. This classic Christmas text acknowledges the full reality of the darkness in our lives. There's no enforced celebration here. There's no assumption that if we just grit our teeth and try harder, that we can somehow master the darkness or control it. There's no attempt to sell you anything in this passage. Christmas is realistic about the darkness in our lives. And yet Christmas is hopeful as well as realistic. Realism with no hope is pessimism, as atheistic philosophers like Albert Camus realized when he basically said, I've realized that life is meaningless, that there's no God. What I haven't worked out is why I shouldn't kill myself. Realism with no hope is unlivable for us as human beings. And this Christmas text, as well as naming the darkness of our lives, our inability to overcome the darkness in our own strength, it also speaks of light. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. This is such good news. That light that it's talking about there is Jesus. See, this is why I think the realism of Christmas is so powerful. It says we don't need to distract ourselves from despair by enforced celebration. We can acknowledge the darkness is real and that we can't escape ourselves from it. Christianity is realistic, but at the same time, Christianity says we don't need to slip into pessimism either, because just as the darkness is real, so is the light. As John's Gospel famously puts it, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. In Jesus, God himself enters into our darkness, experiences the full horror of that darkness himself. On the cross, Jesus bears the penalty and judgment that we all deserve for rejecting his authority. And the claim is that God does all of this in Jesus out of love. He does it because he desires relationship with us. Now think for a moment how huge that love must be that would see all of that darkness, all of that mess, and instead of shrinking back, would roll up his sleeves and step off his throne and say, I am coming into this world to take the darkness upon myself, to defeat it completely, so that you can be set free. So instead of seeing Christmas as a sentimental thing designed to distract us from the darkness, can I encourage you to remember that Christmas is realistic? It is about the horrendous reality of the darkness, that it's real, overwhelming, and that we can't save ourselves from it. And yet, right alongside that it says that there is light, there is hope, because in Jesus, God provides a saviour. And for those who put their trust in him, the darkness will not have the last word. So that's the realism of Christmas. In our next video, I'm going to talk about how Christmas can help us to think clearly in a more integrated and consistent way. I'm looking forward to that. I'm Matthew White, thanks for watching, and see you soon.